for real. Rocket. I mean, look at that.
Poor young corners out there.
He was hurt.
Young corners out there.
Look at, he almost fell down. He literally almost fell down. And listen, just start jogging behind it. Ain't no reason to try to sprint. Just lay off, bro.
Make it look good. Okay, and then third quarter, and then Tannehill started Tannehilling. We got problems there. Jordan
Drill. Oh, that was easy to catch. We don't drop those ones, Robert.
That's Jordan Poyer with the interception. Bills take over. And then why throw it to anyone else when you have Stephon Diggs?
Oh, man, nice play action pass. And the DB's inside leverage. He's like, I still got
But you can't get him that close. He was in his jeans right there. Give it to
Stephon
him.
Diggs is always open. Just keep throwing it to him, man.
34-7. And then just for good measure, the Bills defense says, well, we haven't tied this game. And so they do it. Matt Milano with a pick six. So the Bills defense scores as many points as the Titans do last night. 41-7 is the statement. And Josh Allen continues to put on a show, including the playoffs. Allen's 4 consecutive games now with 4 total touchdowns.
Boy.
Only 4 players in league history have ever done that. Look at the names on this list. I mean, it is like the Mount Rushmore of all-time quarterbacks. So we just talked a little bit about the continued improvement of Jalen Hurts. The template is what we saw last night, right?
No doubt about it. The template starts with bringing in a true number 1 wide receiver for your young guys.
Yeah.
I did the research. When Stephon Diggs came over to play with Josh Allen in Buffalo, the results are unbelievable.
That's right.
In year 1, he increased Josh Allen's completion percentage by 10.4% from 58 to 69. He threw 17 more touchdowns and 1,455 more yards. That is the difference. Josh Allen's been a completely different quarterback since Stephon Diggs stepped foot in Buffalo, and you're seeing the same thing with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. And I'm just like, man, this is incredible. Josh Allen already has all the talent in the world, but when you give him that true number 1, man, he's skyrocketing.
I don't have any questions, Dan, about the Bills. That's my problem, right? What am I supposed to ask you? Are they as good as we think they are? Can anyone play with them?
Look, I mean, they lost a bunch of guys on defense to injury throughout the game last night, so we'll monitor that, obviously, but it didn't affect them last night. They can roll guys in on defense. They're so deep at every single position. It's incredible to watch. And, look, I feel like last night, by the time they played, I feel like it had been like a half a year since the Bills had played, right? Because they played Thursday night, and then everybody else has played twice since. But they remind you right away. They don't have Gabe Davis, who's one of their best players on offense. It doesn't matter. They're on a mission. I know from the last couple of years being around that team a little bit, they see a window. They believe that they are as good as anybody in the league. They are frustrated that 2 years in a row they couldn't get past Kansas City in the playoffs. They believe they're good enough to do it, and they know this is their time. That's how they're going to operate. They want to do this to every team they play this year. And,
I mean, Allen's out in the middle of the third quarter, man. Let's do it every week. That's how you keep him safe.
Then he won't
That's
get
how
hit.
you keep him safe, Brady.
Both backup quarterbacks in the game in the third quarter. That's domination.
Allen still gets hit too much, but that's a different conversation for another day. Listen, they opened the season, Buffalo did, on the road against the defending Super Bowl champs. And then they get the defending 1 seed in the AFC. And they win those 2 games 72-17. Jeff, right now, I'm asking you.
I can tell you, best team in the NFL.
That seems to be, that's my point. It's not even a question. So here's the question. That palatial estate you have there in suburban Georgia.
I'm in it.
Bills or the field to win the AFC?
Bills. Listen, I'm telling you, when you look, Sean McDermott has this team believing not only are they the best, they're the toughest team and toughest minded team in the NFL. They gave one away to the Chiefs last year, and they believe that wholeheartedly. And I believe it. Like, you can't let that happen, right? You have the best defense in the league, and you give that up to the Chiefs late to lose that ball game. They are still upset with that, and they have added to this football team. And Von Miller coming over to that defense, not only can he close drives, he closes games. And when you have a defensive end that brings that type of confidence to an already good defense, it just takes you to another level.
I don't want to be the parade rainer, but they aren't perfect. The weak spots on their team is the corners. They don't have great corners, and Trey's not healthy. And also, they don't run the ball all that well. Mr. Run the ball. They struggled last night on first down. They didn't have first down.
That's because they listened to Greeny and didn't run Allen. They were when they get Allen going, baby. They big dog. They got little dog on the porch. They the big dog on the porch.
And look at this. They only won 41-7.
Exactly. ain't got to run it if they don't need to run
It
it.
works out fine. This is I'm hoping to find an ally in all of this, right? As a quarterback who, once got hit real hard while running with the football. And
Let's just call it what it is.
so I'm just saying, Haloti Ngata almost broke you in half.
He did
So
break you in
the
half.
question is,
really
does Josh Allen, does he need to be mindful of the fact that a Super Bowl rests completely upon his ability to remain healthy until the middle of February?
I can see the look in your eyes right now, Greeny. You're begging me
Yes.
for this, but I can't give you what you're looking for.
That's what I'm talking about.
Josh Allen's ability is his availability, of course, but it's just the way that he plays the game.
That's right.
He plays with a chip on his shoulder. He understands that. He's a big boy. He's a country-fed boy. He can take those hits. That's just the way that he plays the game. But I will say this. Jeff, you talked about Von Miller. I 100% believe Von Miller is the Tom Brady of defensive ends. This guy, he's a Super Bowl whisperer. He brings a certain tenacity to that defense.
Yeah.
He is the guy that can finish.
Yeah.
And he makes everybody else around him play better. And I just look at Von Miller, and I think everyone on that team says, because Von's here, we can win the big one.
Yeah.
So I look at him and I'm like, man, this guy, not only, I played against Von Miller in college. The guy's unbelievable. He's just, everywhere he goes, he just elevates the level of the defense. And I think he deserves that type of praise.
I mean, if we're handing out Tom Brady's, then I think that we need to go back to Stephon Diggs because he's the Tom Brady of receivers.
No doubt.
When he got there, as you pointed out earlier, that Josh Allen was sitting in the locker room. When he saw Stephon Diggs walk in, he started singing, "My whole life has changed since you walked in." And it's been different ever since. That's what you need. A player like that on your team makes everything easier for everyone around them.
So, to my resident skeptic, Mr. Graziano.
That's you.
That's you.
Did we see
Trombone.
this year's Super Bowl teams on display last night on the ESPN family of networks?
Get him.
Come on, Krause.
The Bills and the Eagles, is that the Super Bowl this year?
I think the Bills are going to the Super Bowl. I still have faith that the Packers and the Bucks are going to be better teams by the end of the year than they look right now. So I can't say the Eagles look great. Like they play like this all year, sure, but man, there's a long way to go.
I bring my umbrella anytime
Come
I'm around
on,
here.
man.
My parade's gonna stay dry whether
You're
you
the
like
one
it or
telling
not.
me Buffalo's got holes. Tre'Davious White is coming back.
Parade
number
right.
one.
We were
Number
having a good
two,
time.
It's
We're
2022.
yelling.
We don't have
We're
on the ball.
dancing
20
and
minutes
partying.
into the show, he's ruining the
Already
party.
ruined
Hey,
it.
man, pack it up. Thanks for doing it. Let's roll.
That's what you want.
That's what you have. That's what I want. Fly, Eagles.
And so let it be said that at 19 minutes and 44 seconds into the show, I lost complete control. All right, as we get rolling, this might be blasphemous, but Tom Brady has looked human so far this
Fantastic job of pieces and parts, but the way it has come together gives Sirianni a ton of credit. He's got all these guys headed in the right direction.
Yeah, we were laughing at Nick Sirianni when they hired him at the beginning of the year last season, but he figured this thing out really quickly. They built an offense around Jalen Hurts the way his skill set was at the time, and they allowed it to develop as they were going forward. And they committed to this guy. To your point, so many teams bring a guy in. If he's not perfect off the bat, they're looking for another quarterback.
That's right.
When the problem wasn't the quarterback in the first place, the problem was you and your organization not building around that player and accepting that he had. Yeah,
It's not a me problem. It's a you problem.
It's not a quarterback problem. It's a coach problem and an organization problem.
Well, that's why I give Sirianni so much credit, because you see so many offensive coaches, and they have a round hole, and they're like, no, I can't put a square peg in here. Go find me a round peg.
Correct.
Instead, he changed the shape of the hole, said, okay, this is what my quarterback does well. This is what we're going to do. They've tailored it to his skill set, and the result is he looks great.
Yeah, he looks amazing, and I'm telling you, that's what great coaches do. They get the most out of their players. And when you talk about Jalen Hurts' ability, he's not just doing it with his legs, but he's 7th in the league in passing and 10th in the league in rushing. The guy is not shying away from using his legs and going out there and making plays. And I just look at this offense, and I'm like, man, if Jalen Hurts is playing like this is a Super Bowl favorite type of team, because their defense actually stepped it up last night, and Darius Slay was on fire, shutting down Justin Jefferson, locked him down. I mean, he should have had 4 interceptions, Neek. I know that's why y'all play defense, because y'all can't catch that well, but he should have had 4 interceptions interceptions in that game, and I think that they really showed why people picked them to go to the Super
So
Bowl.
what you need to learn as you get used to our group here is that Dan is our resident skeptic. So if they've convinced Dan, he likes to rain on the parade.
Yeah,
I like Jalen Hurts. I always do.
You're
Are
a
the
parade rainer.
Eagles
Oh.
a Super Bowl team in the NFC right now? Have they convinced
Right
even
now?
you?
Come on,
right
man.
now, do they look
rain it.
like
Right
the
now,
best team in the
you got
NFC?
2 weeks.
We were standing over there in like April or May, flapping our wings,
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah, I
fly,
remember.
the Eagles fly. We can roll that tape. I was first on this with the
We were on
Eagles.
that train in the
Absolutely.
preseason.
You're
yeah,
in
I
on
mean,
the-
look, I think Green Bay and Tampa Bay will get better as the year goes along. I think the Rams are to be reckoned with, but the Eagles, they deserve the credit. They've looked the best in the NFC so far.
I mean, and to some degree, I think we haven't even mentioned their defense in here that picked off Kirk
loaded.
Cousins 3 times.